Hi there, we're at the Coldwater Fall Fair, and I'm meeting
Patricia Turnour, and I am curator of the Canadiana Coldwater Museum here in Coldwater, Ontario. And we are heralding dresses for the ages here at the Fall Fair. So we have the earliest dress here, which was 1875. It is a beautiful wedding dress worn by a lady who became Mrs. William Shepherd. And the Shepherd family were very well known in the area. They had a lot of industries, and there was actually quite a prolific business community that evolved around them. They also have at the museum the 1924 golden anniversary of this couple. And the couple are here in the picture. There's the lady, there's the man, and there's their daughter, and the rest are other members of the family. So this is, again, a 50-year anniversary.
I'm hoping you can tell me a little bit about some of the other
Sure.
dresses in this collection.
This dress here is a brocade party dress. A little difficult to age because it's one of those timeless fashions that you have. It was one of the ones that we received from a dress company in Toronto that rented out to the dramatic community. And we have a number of other crinoline dresses that they also did for that. A lady showed up at the door at the museum a couple of years ago, just previous to COVID, put them in a garbage bag. And she was going to take them to Goodwill. And we were able to salvage them for her. They needed very little repair, and they were able to be part of our collection.
Well, let's do a quick pan across them and maybe point out some of your favorites to me.
This is a 1952 wedding dress. It is important to me because it belonged to an aunt of mine, and it also is the same style as my mother's, who was married in 1952.
So
and
beautiful.
It has very intricate beadwork at the back for the buttons. The next two are part of our party time dresses with the whole flouncy part of them, and they stand on mannequins at the museum. Next one is a centennial dress, kind of a funky looking design. In 1967, when Canada celebrated its 100th anniversary, the Coldwater Museum ladies, and there were a lot of them at the time that used to serve at a Victorian tea every week, each made one, and they went on a float in the parade. And we were very fortunate; they kept the dresses at the museum in the trunk, and so we have probably about 12 different outfits of the centennial. All of the same pattern, just of different fabric and different things. We have some with purses, and most of them have a bonnet attached to it. This is an interesting piece. This is called widow's weeds. Widow's weeds, weeds is an old-fashioned Latin word for clothing. This actually belonged to the Woodrow family. It came out of the Victorian times when the ladies started, because of Queen Victoria's grief for Prince Albert, her consort. The Victorian ladies would dress totally in black and also have a grieving period. We have a list of the grieving times that they would have. They used to have grieving consultants, which we would have like marriage consultants telling you how to grieve properly. And you would begin to be able to wear different dresses at the different timelines, black, purple, brown, until your grief was finished. You were supposed to burn your widow's weeds at the end of your grief, but this family was a little more frugal and decided not to, and kept them, and we're very grateful for them.
I'm really grateful, absolutely.
So these are our party dresses. These are our dancing dresses and spring fling. The next ones are more the Jackie Onassis, so they're through the 60s. They're very slim-lined. These would have been party dresses or formal dresses that they would have had. This belonged to a neighbor of mine, and it was our 1959 senior formal dance at high school. It's got a lovely back bow here that you can just sort of see coming down the back.
Yes.
Very trim-waisted as well. These are 1940s. 1940s, unlike the 20s, which had the whole flapper thing going on with turnettes, these were very plain workaday type clothes. And with the 40s, with the war, it influenced the whole fashion. So it became almost sort of had a bit of a masculine sort of flair to it, with collars and cuffs and things like that. These ones here are both French designs. This one stands on a mannequin at the museum. They are all hand beaded. This one here has some very intricate beading. This one here has the bow beading. And this is a cloche hat, which is also 20s sort of sideways hat. here.
It's beautiful.
This is a 1920s wedding dress, matching hat. I would imagine at one time it also had a veil, perhaps. These are undergarments, our infamous petticoats that would have been worn underneath, the full pair of pants, as well as the little chemise that goes at the top. Victorian nightgown, often worn by men and women, and this is what's called a Martha Washington mop hat. Would have been worn at night, but it also often was worn during the day to keep your hair clean. And this is a 1935 wedding dress. It's actually hanging backwards because of the intricate buttons on the back of it. It was from a family called the Glauthams, and they were a rather well-heeled family from Toronto, and the reception for this dress was held at the Athletic Centre on Lakeshore on Big Band night.
And you've got some christening gowns here
Yes.
as well?
Yes, these are Victorian christening gowns. Most of them have a similar design. Most of ours are machine made, so they would be made in the late 1800s when the Singer sewing machine became available. They have very beautiful work on them, lace work and stuff like this. And then we have a very interesting little faux coat. This is faux fur. It was quite popular to have your little kids dressed in fur. Lots of times they also had a muff. This is a fur muff. This is an adult muff, obviously, made of mink, but the children's often had fur muffs as well. And that one there is also a gown. And often they would have capes with it. And there's all kinds of things like slips underneath, quite intricate. And this one has a lot of cut work done on it as well.
Well, I'm really grateful for this tour through your museum and through the display at the agricultural fair today. And I just want you to say your name one more time.
My name is Patricia Turnour.
Nice to meet you, Patricia.
Yes,
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much.